Good morning, it's Tristan here from Zebra Invest. Today, I just want to go through a quick video about how you can go out and find flips. So properties where you're going to be able to find a 20% profit margin and be able to make sure that you can find a good deal that's going to stack in your area. I know at the moment, being in 2021, we've got a really quite competitive property market out there. And that's making it really difficult to be able to find little bits of motivated sellers or problem properties, where usually you'd be able to go and find a deal, find maybe someone who's had a property on the market for quite a long time that's been struggling, where you might be able to get those discounts down the line. The one thing to remember though is when you are looking at properties and you are trying to find a good deal online, that asking price is exactly that. It's an asking price, it's a guide price, it's not the price that it's actually going to sell for. So what do I mean by this? I mean, if that price is advertised at that, that's not necessarily what they're going to sell for. At the moment, where the market is quite hot, there are a lot of agents putting the prices up, and they are slowly achieving and getting those prices. And two, why not? If you can increase your price, if you can achieve a higher sales value, then go for it. And that's what inevitably drives capital appreciation and the ability to make money out of property. Well, that cash flow and various other business models. Anyway, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to jump over to property data. I'm going to have a quick look through and show you how I can find a deal, or how you could possibly find a deal that's going to be good for a flip. I'm just going to have a look. I haven't done this. I haven't jumped in. I haven't done any research before. But as you would have seen from a few of my other videos, if you've already liked and subscribed or had a look to my channel, you'll be able to see what else I have been up to before and how I kind of look for property. So I'm going to jump in now. I'm going to share my screen, log in, and give you a quick show around. So here we're going to head over to property data. You can see the link that I've got, or the web address at the top here. At the end of this video, what I'll do is I'll put up a link, so you can get a 14-day free trial from property data, and you can also get 50% off your first month. So if you do want to get out there, find property deals that you can source and get on and find investments, then this will be a really neat way to do it. So what I'm going to do here is just log in. I have got what's called a max account. The max account allows you to search as many different times as you like and set up as many different target areas that you might want to invest in, and be able to have a deep dive on the analytics and information going on around you. So one of the videos I did quite a while ago was all about rent-to-rents, but initially it's just looking at the area that's Balham and Clapham. I used to actually live in this area. It's a really high value, expensive neck of the woods, and it's usually quite hard to find. Well, a lot of people say it's quite hard to find deals around there. So what I'm going to do here is look, the first thing we've done is you can see just how many people live in that area, 136,000, how many households, density, and it's giving you a brief split of how many properties there are and what's going on. What you can do is, if you wanted to add a filter on these, and you can then remove any of the stuff where it's been sold. So this now is only going to show us all the stuff that's on market for sale, and all the stuff that has been sold is going to disappear. I'll take a couple of seconds just because there's quite a lot of properties in that area. Alrighty, here we go. So now this is just going to limit it down. So the reason I like using this view is sometimes if you're looking for, say, something like an HMO, or say for a property like that, or you're looking for something where, say, for example, it's got loads of bedrooms and you can split that up into multiple units, this could be quite a good way of doing that. You can look straight into the ones where they've got the 5 bedrooms, and where it's a scatter graph, anything on the far left-hand side is going to be stuff that's cheaper than average. Anything on the right-hand side is going to be more expensive than average. And so then you're going to be able to get a good idea whether you're going to get a good deal, whether you're buying something. Obviously, if it's below the average, it's probably below market value. If it's above the average, it's probably more expensive than most properties that are out there. So, for example, look, we've got 1-bedroom property coming up here on Juniper Drive. I'm not quite sure why it's coming up so low. That one's just because it's shared ownership. And you can see there's a few others, but what you can do is you can zoom in on this, so you can have the whole thing come up as a bigger scale. You can then have a look through, and then you can sort of say, okay, let's have a look at these other ones, just open them up and see what is going on here. You can also turn this into a table if you wanted to. So rather than doing it the way that I'm doing it, you can download it as a spreadsheet. But you can turn and say, look, here we go. We've got a flat here. It's not even showing us how big it is. It's a 1-bedroom flat, leasehold. So it's sold by modern auction. Okay, this could be quite interesting actually. Modern auction is where you bid online against other people, but it's not going to a typical auction room. The idea is that as the buyer, you pay a fee for the purchase, and it's going through, as you can see here, it says a website called I Am Sold. I've got the plugin here just for property data on the right hand side, and that's why it's all opened up there. But interestingly, it's not giving us much information about it. So what we can do here is where they're not telling us much, if you take the postcode and where it is said here in the auction, as I've read down here, modern method of auction, and it says I am sold. Where has it gone? But it did say I am sold. So what we can do is go to the I am sold website, and then we can just enter in that postcode. There we go. And we're just going to bring up that flat. Oddly, what's happened there? SW11, let's try that now. 1 bedroom, 1 bathroom, 3 bedrooms. That's not the property that we were looking for. Oddly, I can't seem to find that property. But that looks like it could have been quite a good opportunity to go after. And then here we've got another one. Right, clear. This is Battersea Rise. It's a beautiful area to live in. It's quite good fun living around there. It's quite a small flat though, and that might be why they've been struggling to sell it. It's actually got 1 bedroom. It's got a bathroom there. One thing that you might be able to do if you did purchase this property and turn it around, if you put the shower where the toilet is, the toilet down here, you can actually have it almost like an ensuite. So then that way you get more space in the kitchen. It's just below, by the looks of things, the 300 or 30 square meter kind of limit for mortgages, which might make it unmortgageable. But then it is actually, quite a good location. And it says it's share of freehold as well. So that means it's going to be quite an easy property to get a half decent return on. I mean, just looking at it, I imagine there's quite a small property there. So say, for example, even this is just in London, but I'll just get a little calculator on screen. So say, for example, you can click here to get comps on the rents around in the area. And it's coming up and it's saying, look, we've got 1270. So let's turn around and say, look, I'm just looking around the area. Let's turn around and say this is going to rent out for something like, there you go, 1250. So let's turn around and say this is going to rent out for £1,250 a month. Times that by 12. So that's 15,000. And then on this property, look, they're asking 270,000 there. Share of freehold, there's no real service charge or whatever else. So just as a gross yield before we've got anything else there, there's still 5.5% in London. And that's pretty good going, really, especially with the no service charge. So that's that. That's not necessarily going to be a flip, though. That's just looking like an okay deal. Here we go. This is another one that's coming up 268,000. Not in a building that I would ever want to buy in myself. I like to buy stuff that I would want to live in. So that would end up with nice properties. Again, this is in another block that doesn't quite look like what I like. Anyway, let's go back and have a look at the other way of doing it. The price, pound per square foot, pound per square meter. Here it's going to count with all the properties in the area. So what you've got, anything on the right-hand side is going to be the stuff where it's going to be the most expensive. As I said, exactly the same before, it's a scatter graph. So anything on the left-hand side is going to be cheaper. And that could be where you can find stuff that you could maybe split up, subdivide, add value to, and that you're buying it below the average market value for properties in that area. And by doing that, by refurbishing it, adding any work to it, you can actually add a significant amount of value. So that's worthwhile having a look at. So look, here we go. We've opened up a few there. These are quite large, chunky properties. And again, you're then just going to have to find, if you're looking to source or pass these on, you've got to find the right investor down the line who's willing to do this. But here we go, 5-bedroom property for sale. Let's have a look inside. It's actually it looks, it's all good up together. I'm going to hazard a guess just by looking at the fact that this is I'm going to say dining room. It's got a bed in it. I'm going to hazard a guess it's being rented out on a room by room basis. There you go, nice little terrace. But it's certainly a sizable, chunky house. And they're even saying it's got 3 reception rooms. So what could this property be? Like, excluding storage, so that's a 232, so it's a large property there. We've got 1, 2 reception rooms. We've got a kitchen across the back, another bedroom. So we've got 1, 2. You've got quite a lot of space here. So could you possibly think, look, could that be, say, 1 ground floor flat? It's certainly big enough. Could this space on this floor be another flat? I'd probably argue yes, it's quite large, it's quite chunky. And then look here, you've got stairs coming up that are turning up to this property here to here. Could we turn this into a duplex flat? Probably yes. So you know, if you look at this and just plan it in a different way, you've actually got a property that you could probably, you know, look, and the location of it is pretty spot on. It's between Clapham, Brixton, Clapham North, so it would be quite a desirable area to live. £775, £795 per. Oddly, the square meters, square foot on this on the app doesn't quite seem to work. But you can see, look, there's a difference here of 300. There's about £300 different a square foot. So when you multiply that 300 out by the 2494, you know, there's £750,000 of difference there. Is it going to cost 750 grand to convert that into 3 flats? It might cost you, I don't know, by the looks of things, if it's 2,400 square foot, so call it 250 grand, something like that. You know, there's 500 there, then you've got your margin, everything else. So look, if we just go 2494 times by the 795 average sold, that's 1.2. Divide that by 1.2, 20% profit margin, times that by 0.92, lose 8% on cost, minus, I said about 250 grand for a refurb. There we go, we've got a property. I realise there's going to be planning costs in there, and there's going to be various other bits, and it's not necessarily the most straightforward deal, but it is something that stacks, and it is something that could work quite neatly. So if you want to go find that one, source it on someone else, be my guest. So then let's keep looking. I've got other ones that come up here. Tooting Beck Road, London. Again, huge property, really chunky. The only thing sometimes is they include the basement area, and look here, this time they've said including loft, and including the loft is 37 square meters. So if we go calculator, we turn around and say, look, the whole space is actually 2,1. So they're doing it on the price per square foot there. So if we do 2,346 minus the loft space here, which says 401, that's 1975. So if we do that and then times that by 699, enter. So the property value here, probably in good condition, just based on the price there, should be about 1.35. You've obviously got that loft space that you could convert as well. And why would you want to do that? I mean, again, look, you've got the potential for a 1-bedroom flat on the ground floor. You know, you might be able to put open plan kitchen living room here, and then you've got another 2-bed there. And then maybe you do something split level again and convert the loft. You know, there's lots of different opportunities that you can look at. You just need to try and think a little bit outside the box to see what you can do with it. So again, you can find a few more here. It's a nice chunky property again. And then here's, there you go, 134 square meters. This is saying it's loft space. I'm not sure whether it's usable, but maybe you could end up splitting it into 2 duplex flats, as long as you get consent from the freeholder. So it's just thinking outside the box to see what else you can do with it. The next thing you can do is obviously use, and as I said, you know, there you go, we've got 2 potential deals lined up. So we've then got to say, look, we want to try and use the sourcing platform to pick up and find some deals. Usually, as I said, when you've got a market that's not so busy, it's a little bit easier to find stuff that's where someone's a bit more motivated. The bits that I quite like is something where it's back on the market. That means the sale has fallen out. So property data tracks all of the listings and everything that's going on. So if that property goes from being marked as sold to back on market or to being available, then it flags up as back on market, which is really quite a useful thing to do. And if you can then come in and help fix a chain, get a sale, get it back moving, or something like that. If you're actually fixing a chain, you can claim back your SDLT, so you don't have to pay it. So let's go. I have Balham rent area. Originally, I was trying to see if we could find any deals like that there. And here, look, you've got flats and stuff that's going to become back on the market. And if you've just had your sale fall apart, you're going to be pretty motivated to sell. So let's open up a couple of these and see whether any of them are deals or anything else. The other bit you can do is you can intersect the list. So we can turn and say, look, we only want one there where it's £2 per square foot and the property is back on the market, or cash buyers only. There isn't anything coming up there either. Or you can intersect it, so they want a quick sale. Again, not coming up on those either. But here you can see, look, okay, this is actually quite a good flag. If you're ever looking for properties, it comes up with 99 home. That means the seller is selling the property themselves. They're doing the viewings themselves. So they are going to be maybe a little bit more amenable to doing something a bit more open, a bit creative. You can see, look, they've done what looks like quite a good job on refurbishing this flat. So perhaps this isn't going to be a flip deal, but it could be by the looks of things. Here you go, 48 points. It's a 2-bedroom flat, just about. But they managed to squeeze it all in together. But they might be able to turn around and have a chat with them, see whether you could do something with the property. Maybe you do a lease option because they're, you can talk to them direct. Here's another one. Again, looks rather nice. Just trying to see if there's any. I think you might be able to do the garden a little bit. It looks like it's an old rental property. Just having a guess by kind of like the standard, the finish, and you can see the bathroom hasn't been done in a while. But again, lovely property, really good size. Look, 794 square feet. Maybe you could fit another bathroom under the stairs. So one ends up having an ensuite, the other one ends up having there's a shared bathroom. A really nice space along the back. And then the floor plan on here is saying here it was 794 square feet. So 794 times by 829. So this is saying that the property should be worth around 650. And this is where you're going to say, Tristan, it's on for that. It's on for more money than that. So it's not going to be a great deal for doing. But it's just a way of being able to spot motivated sellers. Again, this one looks absolutely immaculate. It looks like it's even got the garden as well. But it's in a beautiful location, 829 again. And then here, how big is it saying? It's saying it's £750 a square foot. So I'd say we're probably in the same region. But this is how I look through. This would be what I'd be looking at to try and find them. Mossbury Road. You can see here, this one's even had a reduction. You usually see, look, if you ever click on, if you take a look through the plugin, you can find when they've had reductions. Look, they've just come, and the difference here, I'll explain. So where we found this property, where it's come back on the market, you can see the gap here, see this long gap here. That gap is where that property has been going through conveyancing, it's gone through sales, and it's fallen through. And then here you can see the drops, so you can see that's been a price reduction. So they've also reduced the price, so they're trying to get people in to come buy the property. Again, you look at the side of it, it's a huge house. By the looks of things, just looking at the furniture, you can tell it was once a house share. Not necessarily, it looks like it's probably been refurbished maybe about, well, it's been painted probably in the last 5 years or so. I'd say it's been refurbished probably about 20 years ago, I'm going to hazard a guess. But you can see, that's a stunning size property. And here, there you go, 1,300, 13858 times by the 827. So that's saying it's just over about £1.1 million worth of property. So if you then divide that by 1.2, times it by 0.92. I mean, it's going to be tight, but there's not quite flip numbers there. But when they have had a sale fall apart, they might be interested in it. The other side of things as well, as I've just done that, I'm keeping it as one house. You can see here where it's got lots of windows across the side as well. It might quite neatly, again, split into flats. You can see here on the ground floor, that's 566 square feet, 482. So that could be a 2-bedroom. That could be quite a nice 1-bedroom. The top floor, maybe a little bit tight, but you might either that or you could include it into it and then split it into 2 properties. If you were to then put it into 2 properties, you might be able to achieve a higher ceiling price, a higher price on the property. I wouldn't be surprised around there if you ended up getting maybe £700,000 for each 2-bedroom flats at 1.4 million. Then there is a deal to be had. All right, hopefully this video is of help. It's giving you an idea of how you can use the data that's available to you, be able to research it, look into it, find properties whether it's through the price per square foot to find stuff that's oversized, or finding stuff that's back on market, and different indicators to see where people are motivated to sell. So I hope you found this useful. Hopefully you like this video and subscribe to my channel. I've got plenty of other videos explaining how you can find deals that I've done, places that I'm investing in, splitting, subdividing, refurbishing, flipping, HMOs, yada yada, all together. So I've got those, and we're just going to put up the little bit that gives you the discount code for property data. Hope you found it useful, and I'll catch you later.